Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking into Hyrox.
Hyrox.
Yeah, this fitness competition that's been, making some noise lately.
Right.
So it's called the World Series of Fitness Racing, and they say it's for everybody. And we're going to see if they can back up those big claims because, some of them are pretty wild. We got some of their marketing materials.
Well, of course.
And we're going to break it all down.
It's a crowded fitness landscape out there.
Yeah.
So many different
For sure.
programs, competitions that claim to be the best or for everybody. So
Right.
what is it about Hyrox? What makes Hyrox
What is it about Hyrox? Well,
unique?
yeah, they're growing like crazy. First of all, just the numbers are insane.
Yeah.
I think they said like 40 races this year.
Wow.
In 2023, all over the place too. Like multiple continents, huge amount of athletes, spectators.
Yeah.
We're talking Vegas, Manchester, Maastricht.
Yeah.
Like they're all over.
Wow, that's
Have you seen this
a lot.
kind of growth before?
I mean, it's impressive. Yeah, it's really impressive to think like CrossFit, took years to gain that kind of global traction.
Right.
So it seems like Hyrox has really tapped into something, maybe a change in what people are looking for in their fitness.
Okay, so let's talk about this whole fitness for everybody thing.
Okay.
Because they have this Hyrox 365 thing, and they call it an ecosystem.
The ecosystem, huh?
Yeah, it's like workouts, educational materials like Hyrox Academy, and then an affiliation program for gyms and trainers. So is this just clever marketing?
Right.
Or is this actually
It's a smart strategy for sure.
like the real deal?
Yeah, I mean, Hyrox wants to be more than just a competition, right? They're building this whole brand to support you year-round.
Yeah.
But the real question is how effective and how inclusive is this approach? Can they really cater to all these different fitness levels?
And they say you can train for Hyrox anywhere and anytime. Like how?
That's a big claim.
Is that even possible?
Accessibility is a big word. We need to dig deeper. What do the training programs actually involve? What kind of support does the Hyrox Academy give? And most importantly, who are they really targeting with their message?
Yeah. And speaking of that, I was looking on their website and it's translated into so many languages.
Oh, wow.
They're clearly
That's interesting.
aiming for global domination here.
Yeah.
But can one program really cater to all these different cultures and fitness backgrounds?
Yeah, language inclusivity is a good first step.
Right.
But it's just a first step. We need to understand how they adapt their training and competitions to actually connect with all those different cultural contexts.
Okay, let's switch gears a little bit and talk business because Hyrox seems very focused on partnerships, especially with gyms and trainers. And they really talk up the benefits for these businesses.
Right.
To, work with Hyrox and integrate it into what they offer.
It is a really clever way to grow quickly, because if you leverage the existing infrastructure, it's much faster than building from scratch.
Right.
But you're right, sustainability.
Is it sustainable?
It's the big question.
Yeah.
What happens if the Hyrox trend just fades away?
Right.
Will these partnerships still hold strong?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
What if Hyrox just, doesn't change or innovate enough to stay ahead of the curve? I mean, fitness changes.
Oh, totally.
All the time.
Always evolving.
What's hot today is old news tomorrow.
Exactly. If Hyrox wants to be more than just a fad, they really have to prove their value to their partners and prove that they can adapt to the industry because it's always changing.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of adapting and evolving, they have this Hyrox Academy.
Oh, right.
Courses, certifications, it seems like they're going beyond just basic workout plans.
Right.
Is that normal for fitness competitions?
I wouldn't say it's the norm. It's definitely interesting to see that most competitions, they just focus on the event.
Right.
Hyrox seems to be investing a lot in educating athletes and trainers.
Yeah.
Which makes me think they're really in it for the long haul.
Yeah, but are people actually using the academy?
Yeah.
And who was it really for? Are we talking about experienced pros? Or is it more for beginners?
It seems like they're trying to reach a broad audience.
Okay.
They have that foundation course. So clearly that's for newbies.
Right.
So we're totally new to Hyrox and just want to learn the ropes.
Yeah.
But then they have multiple levels of certification for trainers.
Really?
Yeah, going into programming, periodization, even biomechanics and nutrition.
Wow.
It's they're creating this whole pathway for trainers to become HYROX specialists.
So like if I'm a trainer and I think, okay, I want to make HYROX like my thing.
Exactly.
There's like a clear path for me.
Absolutely. I mean, they're essentially building a whole network of HYROX certified professionals. Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. It builds brand loyalty and ensures a certain standard of training across all their affiliated gyms.
So it makes sense for business, but for the athletes, you know, say everybody, but are these programs really designed for all fitness levels?
That's a good question. That's where it gets a little tricky.
Yeah.
HYRX definitely wants to be inclusive.
Okay.
And their marketing is fantastic.
Yeah.
But in reality, the competition is demanding. Yeah. You can't just show up with no fitness base.
Yeah. You need
a good foundation to participate safely.
So the everybody thing,
and
it is an asterisk.
Yeah.
Like everybody who's willing to work hard.
Exactly. It's not a walk in the park.
Yeah.
You know, it's a challenge. And that's part of why people love it.
Sure.
But you got to be realistic about what it takes to prepare for a HYROX event.
Okay, so what about someone who's really new to fitness? Could HYROX be like a good starting point? Or is it more for people who already have some experience with structured training?
I think that's where the training programs come in.
Okay.
And those lower level academy courses.
Right.
If they're designed well and actually cater to beginners, then HYROX could be a good way to dip your toes
into the world of fitness.
To the fitness world.
But we'd have to look closer at those.
Yeah, we need to look deeper than just the marketing, you know, the content and how they actually deliver those programs.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential there.
Right.
But also a lot of ways it could go wrong.
For sure.
You know, like they could be revolutionizing fitness or they could just be overpromising.
It's like any ambitious venture.
Right.
There's always a risk involved.
Yeah.
Transparency is key. HYROX needs to be upfront about what they offer and who it's really for.
You mentioned earlier that HYROX relies a lot on partnerships.
Yeah.
With gyms and trainers.
Yeah.
So like, what are the actual advantages for these businesses? Why would they partner with HYROX instead of just doing their own thing?
Well, in the fitness world these days, standing out is everything.
Sure.
You know, gyms are always looking for ways to differentiate themselves.
Right.
And HYROX basically hands them a ready-made system.
Okay.
They can become certified training facilities, offer specialized classes, tap into an existing community. It's a way to attract new members and keep things fresh.
So it's like adding like a trendy new
for their current clients
item to the menu.
Exactly. Right. And then there's the community aspect. You know, people can train together for HYROX events, share their goals, support each other.
That's cool.
That camaraderie can be really motivating.
But you also mentioned some potential downsides.
Right.
What are the risks for gyms and trainers who like go all in on HYROX?
The biggest one is sustainability.
Okay.
Like, what if HYROX just isn't cool anymore?
Yeah.
Gyms could be stuck with all this specialized equipment and trained staff, but no one to train.
Nobody wants it anymore.
Exactly. And then there's the risk of market saturation.
Okay.
You know, if every gym in town starts offering HYROX,
it's not special.
It loses its appeal.
Yeah, so gyms and trainers need to be strategic.
Absolutely.
About this.
Yeah, they need to think long term.
Right.
Does HYROX fit with their goals, their target audience, their overall business strategy?
Yeah, it sounds like HYROX is definitely shaking things up.
Oh, yeah.
But
they're making waves.
Yeah, whether it's going to last,
you
know, remains to be seen.
We'll see.
We've talked about the training, the academy, the business model, those big claims about accessibility.
And all those bold claims.
Yeah. Right.
But there's one key element we haven't touched on yet.
What's that?
The competition itself.
Oh, right. We've talked about training for it.
Yeah.
But we haven't actually talked about what it's like to compete.
Right.
Like, what are these standardized workouts they keep talking about?
Okay, so a HYROX race. It's this really unique blend of functional fitness and endurance. It's 8 1-kilometer runs.
8 kilometers.
Interspersed with 8 functional workouts.
Wow, that's a lot of running.
Yeah. And the workouts are things like sled pushes, burpee broad jumps.
Okay.
Rowing farmers carries wall balls.
Wow.
It's a serious test of strength, power, and cardio.
So who usually does well in HYRX? Is it more like CrossFit where you have to be super strong?
Yeah.
Or is it more about endurance?
It's really a combo of both.
Okay.
You need the strength to handle those functional movements, but also the stamina to keep going for those 8 kilometers.
Yeah.
It's a test of overall fitness.
Right.
Not just one specific skill.
So they call it the World Series of Fitness Racing. And it's starting to make sense.
Yeah, it's a grueling competition for sure.
It sounds intense.
It's not for the faint of heart, but that's part of the appeal.
Right.
It's for people who want to push their limit.
Right. See what they're made of? Okay, but let's go back to that everybody thing for a second.
Okay.
Given how tough this competition is,
is
it really realistic to think anyone could finish Hyrox race?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
They do have different categories based on age and gender, but the workouts themselves are standardized.
Right.
So if you're brand new to fitness, you might struggle with some of the movements, let alone doing all the reps.
So maybe their marketing is a little bit aspirational.
Maybe a bit.
Yeah.
It sounds like you need some fitness experience to even participate safely.
Okay, so what would you recommend for someone who's curious about Hyrox, but maybe not sure if they're ready?
I'd say start with the training programs. See how you feel. The Hyrox Academy also has resources for assessing your fitness level and setting realistic goals. You know, it's always best to start gradually.
That makes sense.
And work your way up.
Fitness is a journey.
Exactly.
Not a destination.
It's about finding activities you enjoy.
Yeah, challenge you in a healthy way.
And remember, Hyrox is just one option.
Right.
Yeah.
There are so many ways to stay fit and active.
Yeah.
The key is finding what works for you and your goals.
Hyrox has gotten so popular so fast. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, they've done a really good job with their branding and marketing.
For sure.
But I also think they've tapped into something that people really want. Like something more than just, the same old gym routine or training for a marathon.
Yeah, they've got that like challenge aspect.
Yeah.
You know, like pushing yourself to try something new.
That's it.
And then they make it seem possible for like regular people too.
Totally. It's aspirational, but not intimidating.
Right.
You don't have to be a pro athlete to do it.
Yeah.
It's more about your own personal journey.
Yeah.
Just seeing what you can do.
And the whole community thing seems like a big part of it too.
Absolutely.
People training together, cheering each other on, sharing that whole experience.
It's about more than just winning.
It's that human need to connect, to belong. We're social creatures.
Yeah.
And Hyrox gets that. It's not just about what you do on your own. It's about working together, supporting each other.
Okay, so we've looked at Hyrox from a lot of different angles. The training, the competition, the business model. We talk about what could go right and what could go wrong.
We looked at the marketing hype and the reality behind those big claims.
And we talked about how Hyrox really makes you use your strength, your endurance, and your mental toughness. So it's been a really deep dive.
Definitely.
And now we want to leave our listeners with something to think about as they keep working on their own fitness.
Given how fast Hyrox is growing and how ambitious they are, could it become the biggest fitness competition in the world?
Wow.
What could help them get there? What could hold them back?
That's a really good question. What do you think, everyone? Do you think Hyrox is going to keep getting bigger and bigger? Let us know what you think. Share your predictions and your stories with us.
This deep dive has been so interesting. It's been amazing to see how Hyrox has shaken up the fitness world.
For sure.
It'll be really cool to see how they change and adapt over the next few years.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us on this journey.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Keep pushing yourselves. Keep exploring what you can do. Remember, fitness is what you make it. Find what you love. Challenge yourself. Don't be afraid to try something new.
And hey, maybe we'll see you at a Hyrox event.
That's it for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.